certain. Simply curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known. Would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I could have known. Would have kept me from the one I love today. One street over there's a life I could have known. Things aren't always
this is one street over, and we've got a room full of folks right now. Adam, I'm going to need you to slide on in closer to Rachel. Rachel's in here, and we're going to get these microphones going. This is the morning that we normally visit, of course, with Rachel Allison for staypositive.news, and we are doing that, but we're also visiting with Adam Pope because it is the anniversary of 9/11, 23 years now. And good morning. Say good morning. How are you doing? Oh, you know what? It might be good if I turn your microphones on.
Thank you. Yes, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. And I had talked with Rachel earlier in the week, and I said, I said, this is your day to come in, but I want to also, we need to remember, what the day is. And so y'all had never met. Mm-hmm. So, I got to introduce them. So it's one of those things that if you're not familiar with staypositive.news, they do stories on local folks and just really positive stories. And I said, this would be a really good story for you because, Adam and Amy are musicians and they've got this just cool family and they travel. Do y'all still have the bus and everything?
Yeah, the truck and the camper. Yeah,
that is the coolest thing. And they tell her how that happened before we get on into everything because I love that story.
Yeah,
tell them about that.
I guess the shortest version I can do is we went to Montana and we played shows out there. And this guy he said, "You came out here in a Corolla?" I said, "Well, that's what I got." And he said, "Well, we want to drive this truck and this camper," and it's wrapped with his company, his business, and promoting their business. And next thing you know, they sponsored us traveling in this camper, and we've been all over the country singing out of this thing. So that's
amazing.
It's definitely of the Lord. Those kinds of things come out of nowhere, but
see, that's what I love about it because it is. It's like this traveling. It's this big traveling bus. It's got Adam and Amy Pope on it. It's perfect. And you drop it out and it's a rolling stage. And it's the coolest thing ever. And just randomly, this guy goes, "Y'all need this." And I mean, that's just God. And that's the coolest story.
And now we're taking that thing downtown in Nashville in front of the Hall of Fame today and playing on that truck stage, which I never, even yesterday, I didn't think I was doing that. It's just the things that pop up with that,
Well, and that's the thing. I called, Adam, and I'm like, "Are you busy?" And he's like, "I'm going to be working." And so we didn't really think this was going to work out, and God just worked it out. So we just love it when he does that. Because when did you write the song about 9/11? How long? I
was thinking that this morning. I think it's been about 9 years.
Okay.
Yes, 9-10 years ago. Yeah. It's when I went up to New York the first time. Went through the 9/11 museum and came home and wrote this.
Okay. Have you been through the remembrance?
No, I have not.
I haven't either. I've never been to New York, actually.
Oh, well, you're missing out there.
Yeah.
For sure.
But,
I'm excited for this song. Am I going to cry? I have to ask. Am I going to cry?
No.
Probably.
No,
I'm a pretty emotional person.
It's not a really good song. LaVern's just really nice to me.
Oh, no. You know full well. It is one of those things that I just, it is the song I want to hear today
Yeah.
because it reminds me. And just like we, at Greenbrier, we put the news out and we were producing the news. We always produce it a day ahead of time right now. And we were fixing it. I'm like, guys, we got to do something for 9/11. And so, I had to trying to come up with something that I can share in public school and all of that. It's just so hard to find anything. And you've got this perfect song. And I may, share this. I mean, there's some God in there, Jesus. And, but I think I shared it last year. I think I shared with them this segment that we did on the show because I just didn't know what else to do. And you can't share a lot of things with kids, but I found the PSA for the museum. And so we put that in the body of the news. And so we had a little remembrance thing within the news itself. But we've got to talk about it because, I've got a class full of kiddos that weren't born. And, I have found them kind of, not joking, but not really taking seriously the significance of the day. And I wrote the intro and I said, the news guy that's presenting it, he's actually already signed up for the Navy. He's just a upstanding young man. And he said, as students, we remember 9/11 through the memories of our parents, our friends, and, family and teachers. And so we need, it's kind of like we need to really understand they remember where they were. And I say that to set up. So how old were you when this happened? Because are you about the same age as my twins or no? Are you younger?
Yeah, I was
33.
I'm 31, so I was in third grade. I was thinking about this
You were
morning.
really young.
I was really young. I don't think I really understood what was going on that day. Playing on the playground, they brought us all in, and some parents started picking kids up from school. My mom, I was the oldest of four. My mom didn't come get me that day. I guess she thought I was safe, which bless her. Love you, Mom, if you're watching. But then, of course, went home and watching the news over and over. I didn't really even understand at that age, like, oh, did the airplane just go the wrong way?
Yeah.
And I'm curious because I think y'all are a little older than me, maybe. Did you even understand during the news that it was like a terrorist attack, or was there confusion for adults as well during that time?
For me, I knew immediately it was terror. I mean, I knew we were a nation under attack because I was in news. And so I was I was on the air live as it was going down. We were interviewing the Katinas because I was on 4 stations at that time. And it was 101 The Beat. I think there's still The Beat was 101 The One. It was a Christian station when it first came on. And Matt Stockman and I, because I'm still the traffic reporter, but I'm kind of the sidekick, right? And we're interviewing the Katinas. And I had told them in a traffic report, because we always monitored national news. And I told them, I said, we're watching something in New York. There's one of the towers has got a fire. And we assumed helicopter, sightseeing plane had gone into it because that has happened before into big tall buildings there. So that's what we thought was going on because we just didn't realize the significance. And I'm sitting there, he's talking and I'm listening to see if I need to chime in. And I'm watching the monitor and I see the plane fly straight into the building. And, you go, it still gets me. Mm-hmm. And I told Matt, I said, guys, I hate to interrupt you, but something's wrong. And I said, on the news, I said, we just saw a full-size jet airliner fly into one of the towers. And Matt's like, what? And I told him again, he says, I guess we need to go to a break and see what's going on. And we did not come back on the air for a week. We went to national feed. And that was my first experience with it. And so my kids are at Good Pasture. And so I immediately got in the car and drove to the school. And I remember, because I was in the media, walking in and the teachers all looking at me for answers. And I just shook my head. I mean, they could just see it because, I'd been following it in the news. And I knew what was happening. And of course, by that time, the Pentagon had happened. And we knew. We just didn't know what it was going to amount to. But yeah, it was just one of the most shocking things I've ever experienced. That it's like I'm going to have a conversation with my kids today. I hope you don't have those moments that you remember exactly where you were.
Yes.
Because the Oklahoma City bombing, I'll never forget it, when all those children got killed. Whenever the shuttle exploded, I was standing in the newsroom and it happened. and then this one. And those are things you don't want. But I'm 61, so it's going to happen. But now, how old are you, Adam? I
I
forget.
just turned 40.
Okay, so you were older. So where were you when it happened?
I was supposed to be in school, but
Okay.
I was homeschooled back when it was not cool.
Okay.
And I was,
So funny.
and when you're homeschooled back, when I was homeschooled, you went to work, by God. So I was at work. I was on a construction site and listening on the radio, and we
Wow.
went back home early. And as soon as we turned on the TV, the tower fell.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, oh. And I mean, we already knew it was terrorism at that
Yeah.
point, but it stuck with me. And then, of course, I was 17. I just got my driver's license, and so I was listening to country music all the time. So you got all these
Mhm.
songs, Remember When?
Yeah.
All these songs are coming out, and I'm thinking, like, I want to move to Nashville and write music. And that was the biggest thing in the world to us at that time. So I'm still sort of like a relic from that day as a songwriter, carrying on like the patriotic type songs and
Yeah.
stuff. Because, you know, those guys, all my heroes were doing that. Aaron
Yeah.
Tippin, Toby
Yeah.
Keith, Alan Jackson. And it's not really cool now. But
Mhm.
yesterday I met a guy that was, first name is Joe. I forget his last name, but he was one of the firemen that was under the rubble for 3 days.
Oh, wow.
And he was the
Wow.
last
Yeah, I
fireman pulled
remember.
out.
Yeah.
He's downtown today in Nashville
Wow.
meeting people. And I met him last night when I was down there. And just, this guy still has steel in the
Mm.
back of his head from the towers that was melted, his head laid on.
That's
And
incredible.
but he's all right. He goes around, he does speaking events, and so it's still very real and very painful for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And then others, I mean, it didn't impact the other people as much. They don't think it did, but it did. It
Yeah.
impacted
Yeah.
our everyday lives.
You know, so tell them, you mentioned this downtown. Tell them what you're going to be doing today.
We're just going down for there's a 9/11 mobile museum type thing that is in town, in Nashville, right
Mhm.
next to the Hilton Hotel, the Country Music Hall of Fame, right in that opening there. And they're going to be there all day. It's free. Just people are coming by, meeting some of the firemen, New York City firefighters,
Wow.
and looking at some pieces of the buildings and just some artistic renditions of that day. There's a lot of banners, a lot of information. So it's really cool. They asked us to come down and set up and play this song among some other patriotic type things, and we're going to be down there. Basically, my wife and I, from about 1 to 5 off and on, playing throughout the day and just hanging out with these guys.
Mhm.
And that's really, I'm just taking my kids, because now I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, and we took them to New York last year, so now taking them down there today. I want to introduce them to these
You better
firemen.
believe
Oh
it.
my gosh.
These
I mean,
heroes.
this is I get to pinch myself that this all came out of nowhere for me to be
Yeah.
able to do this today with these guys. And so it's an honor.
Absolutely. Adam and Amy Pope, that's what we're talking about. They're dear friends of mine. I've known them for a long time, and we're getting old. No, I definitely am. But his song, in remembrance of 9/11, I think now is probably an appropriate time for you just to go into it and play it for us, Adam. Why don't you do that?
Well, it's been a year. Let's see if I can do it.
I think you can, brother. I know you can.
I just ran across a picture, and it stopped me in my tracks. A frozen moment taken long before the day we were attacked. An image of Twin Towers standing so tall and strong. One blue sky Tuesday morning, they were gone. I reflect upon that cloud of dust, the tears, the questions why, how this nation was awakened and our eyes were opened wide. That pit's still in my stomach, and there's 2 there in the ground. Names are etched in stone of those who were never found. Many years have gone by since that awful day, and I keep trying to find the right words to say. I'm still mad, and I still grieve. I still pray for our heroes who fight our enemies. It still hurts, and and I still cry. Every year when September 11 passes by, I can't forget. No, I ain't over it yet. I was just a teen and thinking about girls and basketball. Then the world changed when I saw that first building fall. That's when I was confronted with a cold reality that we might not always be free. I recall watching the sunset that night. I thought how many lives were lost who just watched that sunrise. Yeah, I'm still mad, and I still grieve, and I still pray for our heroes who fight our enemies. It still hurts, and I still cry. Every year when September 11 passes by, I can't forget. No, I ain't over it yet. Now time has flown and I have moved on with my life, but I try to stand up for what's right, and I teach my children why. I still pray, and I still believe that Jesus is the answer to what this world needs. He's my hope, oh, and He is the light, and freedom's still worth fighting for. Remember those who died, I won't forget. No, I ain't over it yet. No, I ain't over it yet. Well, I still ain't over it yet.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Adam Pope.
All right.
Beautiful.
I'm telling you, it's one of those things. Every time you play that, it just absolutely just the story you're talking about when you first saw the tower fall and how it's impacted your. I think you being an impressionable teen, like I said, you'll never get over it.
Yeah, it was that age, yeah.
And that's the thing with people my age. That's what I tell my students. I said, that's the hardest thing. And I think about this too. I think about Pearl Harbor and how I came up as a kid. I didn't think anything about it. And so it's having experience, the event so impactfully of 9/11, it makes me say, you know what? We could have been more respectful of what happened on at Pearl Harbor and all of these things when these dates roll around. D-Day, we just, it's D-Day. We completely forget about it. And so at what point will we be like, oh, yeah, yesterday was 9/11?
Yeah.
Will we get to that point?
Oof.
I'm serious.
And it will come.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, probably will come.
We all saw this happen live on TV.
Yeah.
We saw people die live on TV.
Yeah.
That was, even back then, I mean, you heard about it the next day. You saw it on the newspaper. Just like kids, we were kids watching TV, seeing it happen live. Hopefully the takeaway isn't just remembering. It's like, oh, man, there's people gunning for freedom.
Yeah. You bet.
Yeah. LaVern and I looked at each other, and the part where you got to, these people didn't see the sunset, even though they just watched it rise, and
right there,
my eyes teared a little bit with that, just because you can never count your days. You don't know when it's going to be your last day, and that really played into it too for me. I think, the importance of, we all witnessed this event happen, and it's our responsibility to continue to not let it go, like your song, mentioned.
It's powerful, and people can find that you can get it and download it and all that on all the music places, right?
Yeah, it's out there. The best part about that is Jimmy Fortune from the Statler Brothers sang on it, and he did such a great job.
It is a
singing.
very good cut. I mean, it is
Cool.
very good if you hear the recorded version, but I'm sure you'll be playing that today too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for letting me come back and do
Are
that.
you kidding me?
I'm sorry
Absolutely.
I crashed your
No,
interview.
this was
No,
such
no,
a
no,
treat.
no, this
This was
is-
such a treat.
Well, and it's like I told Rachel, I said, we can't, it's like I told the kids when we were putting the news together, I said, we've got to make sure that we pay proper respect. I've got a situation tonight where I'm going to be going in to celebrate recovery, and we have a testimony tonight and all that. We have our celebrate recovery at Madison, but it's 9/11. And I have a retired firefighter that's there, and out of respect for him and all, I want to make sure that we pay proper respect. And so I'm trying to figure out how to purse that. And so it's just kind of trying to figure out what we should do today. And I think about what y'all do with staypositive.news. How do you put a positive spin on 9/11? You remember who we were the next day.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And I saw you see the things that are floating around on social media. And I think my friend Muriel Barnett shared that my computer has gone dark on me. I forgot to charge it. So it's just kind of sitting there like a prop right now. It's not telling me anything, but that's okay. But there was a thing she put out, and that's what she says. The way we honor those who lost their life on 9/11 is by being the people we were on 9/12.
Yeah.
That's how we honor it. And I think that is probably one of the best statements I've heard about how you properly remember and pay respect for the day and be the people who we were on 9/12, especially in election year. Ugh, all of that stuff. But I think that's the positive spin on it. What would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, just giving extra time today to thank our first responders as well, and seeing what you can do to pour back into them, even if they weren't connected to 9/11 at all. They still put their lives on the line every day for our country and freedom. Like you said, mentioned as well, it's at risk. It's always at risk, right? And especially in an event like that, you start to think like, oh, are we seriously, is our country about to change fundamentally? And thanks to our troops and our first responders and our government, no matter what side you're on, like that has kept our country together and has kept our freedom at the very least. So that's something to be thankful and positive about.
Well, and to the kids, I had one son that he was young at the time. He's probably only first, second grade, but he says one of the reasons why he went into the Army, why he served, was because of 9/11. And it's just always kind of been in his heart because he saw that at an impressionable age, and it just, he just felt like that's where he was supposed to go. So, I mean, it's just all the things today. It's just a lot of emotion that goes into it, but there's always it's like the scripture says that all things work for good, but not all. And this, I'm kind of doing my own interpretation of it, but from what I understand, it means all things work for good for those who love the Lord. That doesn't mean all things are good, but He will take the hard things in life, and He will use them and make it good on the other side. He'll show you. He will make us stronger. I know that. It's two things just kind of before they escape my mind. Look around on social media today. There is a list, and I actually shared it on my page. There's a list of how many people, went to work that morning, talking about the people who had seen the sunrise. That's out there on social media, and I had shared it. Just really think about those lives that as they were heading into, it was ever how many that were getting ready for their flight, heading out. Those kinds of things. And there's also a stark picture of one of the fire trucks that's going across one of the bridges going into New York. And you can see the towers burning, and you see this fire truck, and it says that is the last picture of that unit or that crew, and every one of them perished. Every one of them perished as they were, and I think, man, that's a lot. But anyway, remember, don't forget today. And with all that said, I tell you what, let me take a break, and we'll kind of reset, and we'll come back and we'll talk. And like I said, you need to talk to him about doing a story about him and Amy.
Yeah,
because they're a lot of fun. But let me pause, and let's talk about Veterans Motorplex. We love what goes on out at the races. Veterans Motorplex is a place where you can go take your whole family. It is a wonderful place. Are you heading out? Oh, I didn't mean for you to head out. You can stay and talk with us or whatever y'all want to do. I thought, well, if you're going to, anyway, you decide what you want to do. You can hang out. Come on, hang out. I'm putting him on the spot anyway. So I think we can all talk. You can talk about, we're going to let Rachel, you just, anyway, this is real radio, y'all. This is what we do, anyway. Oh no, hey, you know what? You need to help me with Veterans Motorplex. I'm bringing you into it. Tell him last year, I'm going to bring Adam into it, but you got to know Jerry.
I was basically on the track with my guitar when the cars were practicing.
Yeah, that's great. I had forgotten
it's
that.
It's a family experience. It's
yes,
cool.
It is. And he brought you out last year that you guys brought out the van?
The truck.
Yeah, the truck, and had the stage set right there, and cars are running, and y'all are singing. It was awesome.
Yeah, he had us open up for the racetrack, and so it's a good family experience.
Yeah.
Come out, you can see the races. My wife heard the cars loud and clear when she was singing "When You Say Nothing at All."
It was awesome. It was awesome. But that's the kind of thing Jerry loves to have family experiences, and he actually heard you play that song.
Yeah.
And he called me and he said, "How do I get in touch with him?" And that's how they brought you guys out. But that's Veterans Motorplex. You just never know what Jerry's going to be up to. And great racing through the end of October is the racing season. A $40 ticket will get your whole family in. You can take up to 6 kids and 2 adults for one $40 ticket price. Veterans Motorplex, one of our wonderful longtime sponsors here at 1 Street Over. We love them a lot. But to get out to the races, they're in Greenbrier. You're going to want to go again before the end of October. Gates open at 4:15. Racing start at 7, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend for it. So get out to the races, and when you see Jerry, please always let him know that U-Turn sent you. And so as we get back into the show, I do let's talk about what y'all do. Right,
Sure, yeah. So we are a local news media, and we cover only positive news stories here in Robertson County and Sumner County. We've got real writers, real reporters, photographers, everything. So you can always trust that what you're going to see on our page and our website is positive, which is a stark difference to traditional media.
Yeah.
We don't say, we're going to replace them completely, but certainly in a world where we get bogged down so easily with the negative, we like to be a shining light with some positive stuff going on.
Well, and I think you would really love Miss Mabel. So have you got anything wonderful from Miss Mabel right now?
Of course I have some Miss Mabel, yes.
So tell him what Miss Mabel's all about.
Do you remember Dear Abby?
favorite.
I do.
So Miss Mabel is our take on Dear Abby.
Oh, man.
She is a Southern grandma. She gives you advice, just tells it to you straight. I mean, a little bit of sugar. She's pretty funny too. So we have readers that write into her, and she gives advice. So this week, someone wrote in and said, "I'm so tired of everything being a struggle. Struggling to pay my bills, struggling to maintain my relationships, struggling to get out of bed and go to a job I don't even like. I'm not saying I'm depressed. It's just nothing's going right for me lately. Any advice on how to pull myself out of this funk? Give me hope." Hendersonville, Tennessee was where it was submitted from. So Miss Mabel responded to this, and in her typical fashion, it's just like, suck it up, girl. Like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like, it's not that bad. Stop. We all struggle. Don't worship your problems. Work through it. Don't dwell on the negative. It's just like she really gave her just the kick in the rear that this person needed.
Stop whining.
Stop whining.
That's what you get from Miss Mabel. And but that's the kind of thing that kind of us old school kind of people, and he's an old school heart kind of person.
I'm an old person now. You could say it.
You're not. You're 40. That's not old. That's not old. But
yeah, I mean, she gave some good advice. Truly, like,
yes,
don't compare yourself to others. Don't be looking around at how other people's lives are and thinking that your life doesn't, live up to that. And don't borrow trouble too. Don't worry about things that might not even ever happen in the future. Like, why waste your worry? And it's all about perspective, truly. So hopefully that person enjoyed their advice. I enjoyed reading it from Miss Mabel. She's great.
I love it. But, and they look for stories that you just don't know about. I mean, you were telling me, I think last month about somebody that was an astronaut that was local, right? Is that one of the
That was
stories that
probably
y'all covered?
Sarah was on last month. So yes.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And we were talking, but I mean, people who don't even know about things that they do. The story you did about our football player from Greenbrier, his dad and his military background and all of that. There's just all kinds of stories that they talk about, and just cool stories, backstories on people. There was the tie to the Olympics. I can't remember that story, but we had a local that was a coach for one of the Olympic teams.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
for soccer.
No.
See, we don't hear those stories. We don't hear that good stuff. We hear the heavy, heavy, heavy. I'm sure you're going to be inundated with debate stuff today. I'm betting y'all didn't cover the debate.
No, we did not.
Aw.
We tend to stay away from hot topics like that. It's hard to keep it positive when it's such a dividing
Hot
issue.
mess. Ugh.
We just focus on the happy, the positive.
I love it. Do you have anything that's just one of those kind of stories right now?
Oh, I have so many.
What's one of your favorites right now?
Well, one I wanted to say, because we were just talking about Veterans Motorplex. We just put out a story on Jackson McLaren. Have you heard of him? Yeah, he's a NASCAR racer that has raced at Highland Rim Speedway. Grew up racing there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me with my commercial there.
Yeah,
Maybe get
yeah.
Veterans to be a sponsor for you.
We do. So I think the last time he raced there was maybe 2018 at Highland Rim, but he grew up racing there.
Okay.
And now he's not in like the pro for NASCAR, but he's like the step below. So he's like working his way up. He's got a podcast. He's from Portland, Tennessee. So just another one of our own. Love Portland.
Yeah. I do too. Portland's beautiful. It's pretty. I couldn't live in, right here. I think Portland would be right because y'all got so many hills and all that. It's a pretty place. But well, that's a cool story, and I want to check it out.
Yeah.
What else have you got that you think is something that you don't want people to miss?
Okay, sure. Well, this isn't even on our website yet. Am I allowed to share
Yeah.
a story like
You
that?
can tease something. You can
Okay.
be like, hey, that's what we call a teaser.
So this actually had me tearing up the other day. I have a friend. It's a true story. Obviously, everything I tell you is true. But she was driving down a 4-lane highway and saw a 10-year-old boy walking down the street, full football uniform. It was dusk. She has her 2 young kids in the car. She pulls over immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, hey, buddy, like, are you okay? Like, you're walking down a highway. It's late. You're 10 years old, maybe by yourself. And he was just like, well, I'm going home. And she's like, well, where's home? And, like, he wouldn't really tell her much. I don't think he even really knew. And so after some, like, convincing, she got him to get in her car, took him back to her house because he didn't know his address. He didn't know where he lived. After like hours of trying to like make him comfortable, he finally was able to tell her like his mom's name, his Gigi's name. And my friend is like so good at stalking people online. Like she's like one of those ones like, oh, you give me this information, I'm gonna find out all their life details. She's like, I finally put it to good use, Rachel. I was able to track down his mom and his Gigi. I was able to find his Gigi's phone number online. Called her finally. It was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night at this point, and she's like, I think I have your grandson. I found him walking down the road, and you just hear her just start sobbing over the phone, and they found him. They had been looking for him for 2 hours.
Oh my goodness.
He was at football practice, and whoever was supposed to pick him up was like 5 minutes late, and he just took off, started walking down the road. And like they had cops looking for him. They had groups of people. I mean, imagine just your 10-year-old goes missing, right? Because you're 5 minutes late picking him up from practice. And they were able to get him reunited that night. Like he was safe and sound. And I'm like, praise God that it was Sarah driving down the road to pick him up and not some terrible person. Like, and God knew that Sarah would pull over too. Because, if I had my own 2 kids in the car and I'm on a highway, like, I would probably think twice about trying to pull over and putting my own kids in danger for somebody walking down the road. And I mean, the Lord sent Sarah there for a reason and got this kid returned home. So that is a story that just happened the other day, and we haven't even been able to cover it yet. But I was telling my husband about it this morning, and I literally was just tearing up.
You know, and what I love in some of the things you said and the things in your song and all that is how y'all give the glory to God and give Jesus. We've been handing out these, you know, these little Jesuses, and I only have one with me. I forgot to grab any this morning, so I can have this one. I don't know if either of y'all need a little Jesus. I've got one there. I might have some more in my car, but those we have been handing those out because just reminding people. It's like the song says, Jesus, what you need. And hearing what you guys talk about in staypositive.news, Christ is all over it. God is all over it. I think that's one of the things that I know that is one of the primary reasons why I love what y'all do is because you're not ashamed to say we give God the glory. And that's again with you too. That's why I thought this is really kind of a God thing. You guys get to kind of sit here and chit chat because we need to get to know each other. We need to get to know the ones that are sharing the same message, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but
Motivated by the same why.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, for sure.
And it's so cool how he uses us to do different things too.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? I mean, you think about us three right here and the diversity of all the things that we do, but we all have the same motivation. And that's the thing. Because I've gotten to know you well enough, and I definitely know you well enough, and I know my heart. The things that motivate me is not really what pays the bills. I mean, I got to pay my bills, yes, but what motivates me is what do you want me to do, God? And I believe you ask that question and you ask that question every day because there's other things we could be doing, you know, and but we wouldn't be fulfilling His purpose for us. You know,
Absolutely.
and that's what I see so clearly of you guys that I try to do. And if I gotta tell you guys all the things talking about Miss Mabel's person who wrote in, and I don't know if he said this specifically, but if you live into your purpose that God has for you, that Christ has for you, you don't have to worry about the joy. It's there. It's just there. That doesn't mean it's all going to be easy. Yeah, you're going to have some tough times, but you find your joy. You find your joy. But I just love this. This is fun, y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying it because I'm sure enjoying it. Let me pause and take a break. We're visiting with Rachel Allison from staypositive.news, Adam Pope minus Amy, Adam and Amy. You got to come back in here and bring Amy, but it's hard because you had to bring the kids too, right?
Yeah, she homeschools them.
Yeah,
and but they'll come up here.
I
yeah,
think
we can
need
make
to
that.
do
We can make that
We're
happen.
going to do that real soon and just bring the whole
I
family.
mean, they're
in.
up, so
Well, and here's what's so funny, and one of the reasons why I really want you to look into their story, because I characterize Adam kind of like almost kind of a vaudeville kind of performer because he's funny, he jokes, he does. I mean, just
it's nothing like what you just saw. That's the funny thing.
Well, but you do
an up tempo.
yes.
We try to do a positive, fun show for people, entertaining. You know, so that's why this song happens like once a year. But it's like other than that, we're kind of like
Crazy.
But it takes
Fun.
all of this stuff to express everything we have in our hearts and try to connect with people and you know that's how I get to be here with you by doing the other kind of stuff too. So
that's just it. Yeah, that's how we met because I worked with the Blaze for a couple of years and had been friends with Glenn, and we had a thing where we were trying to go into we'd go and do projects, little mission projects, and all over the country. And here, because of the work I had done with the Egyptian people, I worked with the Egyptian community for a couple of years teaching English second language, and this was all at the time. And they're Coptic Christians. This is the time when the Coptic Christians were being persecuted big by ISIS. I mean, this was all happening, and we discovered we had this massive Coptic Christian community in Nashville, and I just fell in love with them. Well, a lot of them are just living in just abject poverty because they're coming here with nothing to get out of an area where they're so persecuted and at threat, and they're moving into Nashville, staying in these terrible apartment complexes, sleeping on the floor. And a lot of people don't realize, newcomers to this country, what their life is like when they get here. It's rough. And so a group of us got together and we would take Christmas and we'd take Santa Claus and hand out candy canes and just all of that. And Adam and Amy and the kids came along with that for a few years. And that's how we got to be friends. And it's just wonderful when we all have that heart. I
See,
just
you
love
don't know when I met you because you were a big star, and I went in the movie theater, and there is U-Turn LaVern of WLAC. My
You're
gosh,
so
I hear her
funny.
every day, and I went up and I introduced myself and shook her hand. She was real gracious and sweet, and it sort of patted me on my head, moved me along. You know?
Oh,
No, you didn't.
man.
No,
So was it at one of Glenn's things?
yeah, it was
Okay.
at that movie
Yeah, when he
whatever
did-
thing,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
anyway, that's been a long time ago. but
Yes, that's been a
I
long
remember
time
telling
ago.
everybody at work the next day, "Oh, I met her. Y'all hear that? That's U-Turn. I know
So
U-Turn LaVern."
funny. God bless you. And we've been friends. We've been friends for a long time. But I didn't realize we had met when I was.
Oh, yeah,
out
you
at
don't know.
remotes. We call it remote.
I was stalking. I was trying to get my little autograph, you know, and you kind of moved me
That
along.
is so funny.
Oh
Hey,
man, surely not.
You did not
Oh.
mess with me.
Oh,
I'll
no.
add on to that story and say I've been trying to get on this show for a long time before you finally called me one day.
Oh, there you
kidding.
go.
I have been trying to.
This is a
I've
big
been
deal.
messaging you on Facebook. I don't know if the messages ever went through. I was like sending messages through people, like, "Hey, tell Laverne, Stay Positive News
Yeah.
wants to come on the show," and then
See,
one day
I-
it happened.
She's
It-
just
it-
a big deal.
No,
She
I'm just
is.
a
She
busy-
is.
Well, it's just like okay. Truth be told, I had truth be told. Listen, that's Miss Mabel's, right?
Truth be told.
That's Miss Mabel's catchphrase. But anyway, so I had called Rachel and I said, "Hey, it's not 11. We need to definitely keep that in mind." I said, "I have Adam in. If he's available, would you come in maybe Thursday and let him come in on Wednesday?" Yeah. And then he wasn't available, and I said, "Well, hey, Thursday's open. Do you want to come in?" And that was the last I had texted him. And then so I told Rachel, I said, "Okay, come on in. He's not available." And then he texted me. I said, and he says, "Hey, if you've still got if you still need something in the morning," and I was thinking Thursday morning because I was answering text in between classes and all that kind of stuff. And so that's why I didn't get back with you. Is I guess I may have seen it and thought, okay, I need to reach back out to her, and then I forgot. That's why I tell everybody, if you need to come on the show, message me multiple times. And here's my phone number, 615-594-7736, 615-594-7736. Text me. That's the best thing. Then text me again and again.
Or you could just wake up and come up here like I did. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No. Morning. So it
Yeah,
was
no,
it
it's
was me
funny.
not getting the clarity on it. But I think this is fun.
Oh yes, me too.
Because I really, you will love them. Y'all really need to do a story on them. I'm really
She
pushing.
said that we're not that interesting, LaVern.
Yes,
so
you
don't
are.
set her up, okay?
Yes, you are.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just such a fun story. Well, because what I love about y'all's story is at first it was just you, and all of a sudden Amy's singing, and she's got a wonderful voice. She is wow. Why didn't you bring her on stage sooner, dude?
I tried. No, I did. She
She was shy.
she always she was always singing. She would sing at church,
Yeah.
but it was one of those things where I don't like to force something. And
Yeah.
so every time I got her up to sing at like our gigs, I mean, we'd be at bars sometimes or whatever. And it was almost like I had to learn about her. What I see as reluctance is really not reluctance. It's more of I'll just help you however you want me to. She doesn't do anything for herself. It's always
Wow. Yeah.
for me. So I wasn't sure if she's doing this because she wants to, and then when I connected that she actually enjoys this, it means a lot to her to do it. And then it was like, okay, we're doing an album. We're going to the studio right now, and then it just
Old-fashioned.
grew from there, And she is an unbelievable singer and
Really is.
presence, and
Yeah.
it's like basically our show has become, she's the singer and I'm the goofy kind of one-off, like doing silly things
Yeah.
in between or whatever. But then I work with another guy in town called the Contrast Brothers. We have a duo, and we're working all downtown because my wife doesn't
Yeah.
want to work down there and the bars, and I understand that. She's teaching our kids, and
Yeah.
so I'm just doing all these things to try to make a living. We were just talking about another group that we know mutually, and I was telling you, it's like, yeah, he's a smart guy. He's a realtor. They're great musicians, great singers, but he's a realtor, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still running around with this guitar. I probably need to have a backup plan.
You
But
do great. You do
anyway,
great.
yeah, it's all I'm out of stuff. That's all we got. That's all I got.
Well, but you've got such an interesting story, and I tell you before I'm going to do another ad and talk about silly songs. So What is that song you talk about? There's a one silly one that give me some of the titles.
Mama Fried.
No,
Your Mom.
he's got several
Plucked.
originals. Which one?
The Chicken
The
Pluck.
chicken. Well,
Oh,
no, I
gosh.
don't know. What would be your favorite silly song that you could do?
I give you a
for us?
verse. Are you wanting to hear like?
Yeah,
Okay.
do something, because this is staypositive.news. Impress her with one of your silly, fun,
Okay.
vaudeville kind of things.
First thing, you ever heard Mama Tried, Merle Haggard? That's old. She would
No.
never have heard that.
Wait,
I'ma
maybe.
try.
First thing I remembered knowing was that pig we had was growing. He was fat. I named him Wilbur. He was my friend. True story. He loved me like he was a dog. He'd come a running when I called. We'd sit and talk while he ate slop in his pen. Then one morning after breakfast, I noticed he was gone, and I panicked down inside 'cause Mama fried my pig Wilbur. And I broke down and cried when I realized I just ate what Mama fried.
You see what I mean?
This is terrible.
That's what that's the kind of stuff he does. And
Little
then Amy-
Jesus, I don't know if he approved of that right there.
well, the whole bacon thing, I don't know.
Well, he was cured.
But
Exactly.
Yeah.
But their whole show is just fun, and it's just it's kind of got that vaudeville feel, and like I said, Old Fashioned's one of just a beautiful song that they do together. And who else recorded that?
A group called Darren and Brooke Aldridge recorded that, and they're a bluegrass duo.
Yeah. And so that's pretty cool stuff. So anyway, well, I'm gonna take a break. Y'all can talk amongst yourself for a minute, and then we're gonna come back. And what else have you got to share with us before we get to the? And I think on the way out, I want you to take us out playing the I ain't over it yet, because it is 9/11. But we're gonna go out with that. But we've still got a good 12 minutes or so here, and so we're gonna give Allison the floor, and then we're gonna let Adam take us out at the top of the hour. But I do need to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. My friends in real estate, they are cross-Planians, guys, and just wonderful work that they do in the real estate community. We talk a lot about what they do in the community. If you see something going on in the community, odds are you're going to see Barry and Rebecca working as well. I had Sean in here, Sean Elmore from Open Door, and we talked about all the videos that Barry has done for Open Door just to showcase what they're doing through the Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. And I'll tell you, it is amazing when he brings that marketing talent. He was the vice president of a media marketing company for nearly 17 years in Nashville, and he brings that expertise into what he's doing in real estate. And it is just a wonderful talent to have when you're trying to present property, to market it and be able to present it out there. But he takes that talent and he helps a lot of nonprofits around town too. So, I mean, they're that kind of couple. They're those kind of people. They are cross-Planians. So they've been there nearly 30 years and specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. If you want to connect with them, he has a brokerage office here in Springfield. She has a realty office in White House, and they combine those two to bring you a new branch in the Exit Prime Realty. You can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com. Let them know. Wednesday to talk about positive things in the news, but because it's 9/11, we also invited Adam Pope to come in. And if you missed the song, I Ain't Over It Yet, he shared that at the first of the show. And we're going to have him playing that on the way out as well. But we want to give Allison some, Rachel, I always do that. You have two first names.
I do.
We talk about that a lot.
It happens.
I know. But Rachel, Allison, what else have you got for us that you want to make sure we don't miss out on?
Yes. Okay. So one event coming up this Saturday. It's called Experience Robertson County.
Oh, of course.
It's put on by the Chamber and the Economic Development Board. Stay Positive News is helping with the event.
Oh,
We
cool.
have a stop in White House at Municipal Park, and we are a nonprofit showcase is our event. So kind of like a little nonprofit fair going on. Local nonprofits. Open Door Pregnancy Center is actually going to be there with their giant mobile bus. We'll be there from 9 to 4. There's going to be some food trucks too. We're going to be set up at the new tennis courts in the back. Sumner Crest is going to be there, and we'll have some pickleball stuff for us, be teaching us how to do pickleball. It'll be a really, really good time. You can learn about nonprofits in our area. We really care about helping nonprofits with Stay Positive News because we feel like they're really just doing the work that we need in our community to help thrive and help certain groups of people thrive. So please come see us there. Even if you don't want to be a part of Experience Robertson County and you just want to come to our one stop, that's totally fine. But I do know through the Experience Robertson County event, there's multiple stops all throughout the county, and you kind of go stop by stop. You collect a passport, and one winner gets $1,000 for participating, which is pretty cool. So great way to learn about where we live, different aspects of our community. So please come to that.
That's one of and that thing sneaks up on me. It's done by the Chamber of Commerce. And what Rachel said is exactly right. You'll have a passport and you get your stamps. And then for every stamp, you get an entry. So the more stops you make, the more entries you get for this $1,000. And it is a great time. I've done it several times, and it's always new stops. I mean, some of them may be ones that they've had in the past, and they'll repeat. I know Bernard Farms has been in there a few times, which is always a fun stop. It's one of my favorite places, but it is so much fun. And Bill Jones is our local historian here in Robertson, in Springfield, and we think Bill knows everything. But I remember that we love quoting him because his first time out on Experience Robertson County, he said to Jordan, he goes, "Well, I didn't know what I didn't know," and that's what happens when you go and do stuff like that. And the nonprofits, man, there's so many wonderful nonprofits out there that are doing the work of Jesus, guys, the work of Jesus. And we need to shine a light on them. And I just love how we're able to do that. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
So what hours are you going to be out there?
So it's 9 to 4. And that's all day for all the stops, too. This is a very family-friendly event. There's going to be activities at every single stop. They know that kids are going to be in tow. And it's free to do, too.
Absolutely.
So something really fun to do on a Saturday. Just please pray for no rain because we'll be out there rain or shine.
I really don't think we've got any rain in the forecast this weekend. I think the forecast is looking pretty good, and not bad temperatures. We're all kind of loving this kiss of fall that we're getting, just especially in the evenings. Now, I think today we're going up to 88, but Saturday we do have some rain chances in there. I didn't realize that, but rain or shine, it's a rain or shine event, and I've gone when it's rained, and some of the places are indoors even. So you can go to the Robertson County Chamber and get all the information about Experience Robertson County. And we'll be talking about it more this week, but I'm so glad you are participating in that. That's cool. People forget that White House is part of White House is Robertson County. Is Portland Robertson County part of it, isn't it? Is it kind of like
Sumner.
on the edge? Are you in Sumner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Can't participate in a...
No, I talk about Sumner County all the time. I sneak it in because that's where I live too. But
yeah, because see, that's the thing. StayPositive.news, they focus on Robertson and Sumner. That's kind of your core, isn't it? Would you say?
Yeah, that is definitely our core. We'll cover north of Nashville though, sometimes a little bit outside that line.
If it's something that needs to be covered, for sure.
Absolutely.
We absolutely go
I feel like
there.
the only difference we ever had was the having to test the emissions in the car, and now that's gone. We don't have
We're
any
the
differences
same.
now.
One in the same.
That's hysterical. That's funny. And the things that you remember, I love that. Anything else that you've got for us? Before we run out of time? What have you got?
Yeah, so we also plan a huge charity event. This last year was our first year doing it. We raised $30,000 for a local nonprofit called His Children Foundation. This year we have the event coming up again on November 7th. It's called the Legacy Gala, and this is a very special announcement. I decided to announce it live on the radio here.
Thank you.
We have 3 nonprofits that we're going to be benefiting this year, and you'll probably recognize 2 of them. One of them is Isaiah 117 House in Robertson County. The other one is Tennessee Voices.
What is that one?
So they are out of Goodlettsville, but they serve all different counties in Middle Tennessee, specifically in Robertson County alone. I know they serve over 250 homeless families that go through the school system. So, and then the other nonprofit that will be benefiting from our funds raised that evening is called Hope for the Holidays, and they will be working to buy Christmas presents and Christmas meals for low-income families in our areas as well. So we're hoping to raise lots and lots of money for them. We're looking for sponsors for that evening, whether you want to sponsor a table or whether you want to be like a headlining sponsor. We've got all those spots open for businesses. And then individual tickets will also be on sale come October too. It's a nice event. You dress up. Fun. Live auction, get to learn about these nonprofits as well and see like how they are affecting our communities, which is really, really meaningful. It's a good time. We have a band playing too.
Okay.
And then we also, you might know this name, Josh Osborne. He's a award-winning country music writer. He's going to be our celebrity MC for the evening.
Fun.
So if you're a country music fan, you might want to come see Josh Osborne. He's a hoot. So
I love it. Now tell me the date on that again.
November 7th. It's a Thursday night. It's in Portland. So
there you go.
it's over there at the barn at Spring Hill Farms.
You may have to get a babysitter and have a night out.
We just played there. I know the people who own that barn.
Yeah, they're awesome. They cut us a deal to host our event there. So thank you for that.
Very good.
Justin Deal.
Very good. See, I knew y'all would be friends. I love how God works it out. But do you have anything else for us?
No, I don't.
Okay. So we got it all in, guys.
We did.
We managed to get it all in. But, and I just, I forget that we were talking about all the things today, and I forgot that it's Wednesday, so that means the Ghost Show is coming in. And so our friend Lee Marie is going to be coming in to do, are you doing something on Lee Marie? Did you tell me?
Yeah. Yeah, we've been working with her.
Okay. I thought that. But if you've not met Lee Marie, do you know Lee Marie?
Uh-huh.
Lee Marie. I mean, everybody knows Lee Marie, and she's only been here.
I met her through you.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Here.
But she's one of those that's just plugged into everything, and she has the Go Show, and she's going to talk about some of the things coming up. I have a feeling she'll be talking about Experience Robertson County.
Oh, yes.
There's a blues show coming up, too. Tommy Marsh's blues show is happening, not this weekend, but next weekend, next Saturday, so you need to get tickets for the blues show. And I don't know if we're going to have an opportunity to have Tommy in. We've been trying to work it out, but he has a gig. He works, and so he has a day job. So it's kind of hard trying to get him in. That'd be a story for y'all to cover, too, because we have a blues festival right here in Robertson County, and it's an amazing blues festival. But that's happening next Saturday, so you need to know about that. But Lee Marie talks about upcoming events and all the things here in the area, and she's going to get some Jesus on you, too. But as we're heading out, I just remind you again, staypositive.news. Follow them. You're always looking for volunteers, writers. You were looking for kiddos. Well, tell them about that before we finish up.
It's for the Legacy Gala. We need some dinner attendants. So I thought this would be a great job for, students who need some volunteer hours.
Yes.
Come dress up in black and just serve water and help with dinner.
Exactly. So if you've got somebody that needs some volunteer hours, that's something you can do. Adam Pope will be in front of the Hall of Fame today. Tell them about that.
Yep, down there at the mobile 9/11 tribute that they've set up outside the Country Music Hall of Fame. It's not affiliated with the Country Music Hall of Fame, but it's outside of it there in front of the Hilton Hotel.
And there's going to be some heroes from 9/11, some of the firefighter that you said that was the last one that they pulled out. That I mean, oh my gosh, I would love to be able to come down there, but I got to go to school.
Yeah, they're actually there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. today, but I'll just be there about noon to 5-ish.
Okay,
but
he'll be singing the song. I ain't over it yet. And can you kind of jump into the middle of it and kind of play that ending for us as we head out? Guys, it's 9/11 today. Thank you guys for coming together and working together today. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Adam. And thank y'all. And please never forget. God bless you. This is 1100 WSGI. Play us out, Adam.
Now, time has flown and I have moved on with my life. But I try to stand up for what's right. Teach my children why. I still pray and I still believe that Jesus is the answer to what this world needs. He's my hope and he's the light. And freedom's still worth fighting for. Remember those who died. I won't forget. No, I ain't over it yet.
Thank you, Adam. Again, this is 1100 WSGI. God bless.